Picture this. Two friends, Rahul and Priya, both started investing 10 lakh rupees in 2014. Rahul put everything in safe large cap stocks because his father said blue chips are the way to go. Priya, a bit more adventurous, split her money between large caps, mid caps, and small caps. Fast forward to 2024. Rahul's portfolio is worth around 32 lakhs. Decent, right? But Priya? She's sitting at 54 lakhs. Same starting amount. Same time period. Wildly different results. Now here's the thing that nobody tells you. The difference wasn't luck. It wasn't insider information. It wasn't timing the market perfectly. The difference was understanding one simple concept that most Indian investors completely ignore. The relationship between risk, return, and market capitalization. Today, we are going to decode exactly what separates small cap, mid cap, and large cap stocks. We'll look at real SEBI guidelines, not YouTube gyan. We'll examine actual historical data from Indian markets, not some American examples that don't apply here. And most importantly, I'll show you exactly how to allocate your portfolio based on your age and risk appetite. Because here's the truth. There's no single right answer. A 25-year-old software engineer in Bangalore should invest very differently from a 50-year-old government employee in Lucknow. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly where you fall and where your money should go in 2024. Let's dive in. Before we go anywhere, let's get our definitions crystal clear. Because I see so many people on social media throwing around terms like small cap and mid cap without actually knowing what they mean officially. In October 2017, SEBI, our market regulator, issued a circular that changed everything. They created clear, non-negotiable definitions for market capitalization categories. Here's exactly what they said. Large cap stocks are the top 100 companies by full market capitalization. These are your Reliance Industries, your HDFC banks, your TCS and Infosys. The giants of Indian business. Mid-cap stocks are companies ranked from 101 to 250 by market cap. Think of companies like Indian Hotels, Persistent Systems, or Oberoi Realty. Big enough to be stable, small enough to grow significantly. Small cap stocks are everything below rank 250. This includes thousands of companies, from promising startups to tiny businesses you've never heard of. Now, why does this matter? Because SEBI mandates that mutual funds follow these exact definitions. When you invest in a large cap mutual fund, the fund manager must put at least 80% of assets in those top 100 companies. No shortcuts. No creative interpretations. This standardization means you can actually compare apples to apples when looking at different funds. It also means that these categories shift every 6 months based on average market cap data. A company that's mid-cap today could become large-cap tomorrow if it grows enough. Understanding this framework is step 1 to making smart investment decisions. Let's start with large caps, the comfortable old money of Indian stock markets. These top 100 companies represent approximately 70% of the total market capitalization of Indian exchanges. When the world talks about Indian economy, they're essentially talking about these companies. Now, what do the numbers actually tell us? If you look at the Nifty 50 index, which tracks the 50 largest companies, the average annual return over the last 10 years has been around 12 to 13%. During the same period, volatility, measured by standard deviation, has been relatively moderate at around 15%. But here's where it gets interesting. During market crashes, large caps fall less and recover faster. In March 2020, when COVID hit, the Nifty 50 dropped about 38% from its peak. Scary, absolutely. But within 18 months, it had fully recovered and was making new highs. The companies in this category have certain characteristics. They have established business models. They have pricing power in their industries. They have access to cheap capital. They have professional management teams. They have diversified revenue streams. They can weather economic storms. For a first-time investor, large caps offer a crucial psychological benefit. They help you stay invested. When you own shares of Infosys or Hindustan Unilever, you're less likely to panic sell during corrections. You trust these brands. You use their products. This emotional comfort keeps you in the game long enough to actually build wealth. The downside? Limited explosive growth potential. A company with 20 lakh crore market cap cannot double as easily as a company with 5,000 crore market cap. The law of large numbers works against them. Now we enter what many professional fund managers quietly call the sweet spot of Indian equity markets. Mid-cap stocks, those ranked 101 to 250 by market capitalization. Let me show you why this category deserves serious attention. The Nifty Midcap 150 Index has delivered average annual returns of around 15 to 16% over the last decade. That's roughly 3% higher annually than large caps. Sounds small? Over 20 years, that 3% difference turns 1 lakh into significantly different amounts. Around 10 lakhs with large caps versus nearly 17 lakhs with mid caps. The magic of compounding amplifies small differences. But higher returns come with higher volatility. Mid-caps can swing 20 to 25% in a single quarter. During the same 2020 crash, the mid-cap index fell over 45%. It took slightly longer to recover than large caps, testing investors' patience and nerves. What makes mid-caps special is their growth potential combined with reasonable stability. These companies have already proven their business models work. They've survived initial struggles. They have established market positions. But they still have massive room to expand. Think about it. A company ranked around 150 by market cap has already beaten thousands of competitors to get there. It has execution capability. It has survived multiple economic cycles. But unlike a Reliance or TCS, it can still realistically grow 5 times or even 10 times from current levels. Many of today's large-cap darlings were mid-caps just a decade ago. Bajaj Finance, Avenue Supermarts, Pidilite Industries. Investors who identified these companies during their mid-cap phase created generational wealth. The key is finding tomorrow's large caps while they're still mid-caps today. Now we enter the wild west of Indian equity markets. Small cap stocks. Everything ranked below 250. This is where fortunes are made and destroyed, often within the same year. The Nifty Small Cap to 50 Index has historically delivered the highest long-term returns, averaging around 17 to 18% annually over extended periods. During strong bull markets, this category can deliver 50, 70, even 100% returns in a single year. In 2021, the small cap index gained over 60%. Life-changing returns for those who were invested. But here's the brutal truth nobody shows in those viral Twitter screenshots. Small caps can absolutely devastate your portfolio. In 2018, while large caps were relatively flat, small caps crashed over 30%. Many individual small cap stocks fell 70, 80, even 90% and never recovered. Real money. Real people. Real losses. The problem with small caps is threefold. First, liquidity. When you want to sell during a panic, there might be no buyers. The bid-ask spread widens dramatically, and you're forced to sell at terrible prices. Second, information asymmetry. Research coverage is minimal. Financial data can be unreliable. Promoters sometimes play games that retail investors can't detect until it's too late. Third, business fragility. A large cap company can survive one bad quarter or one failed product. A small cap company might not. One wrong move by management, one change in government policy, one new competitor, and years of profits vanish. Does this mean you should avoid small caps entirely? Absolutely not. It means you need to approach them with eyes wide open, proper position sizing, and a genuinely long-term horizon. Small allocations to quality small caps can supercharge portfolio returns without creating unbearable risk. Now let's get practical. Based on everything we've discussed, how should you actually allocate your money? I'm going to give you a framework that considers both your age and India's current market conditions in 2024. If you're in your 20s, you have the greatest asset in investing: time. You can afford volatility because you have decades to recover from any crash. Consider allocating 50% to large caps for stability, 30% to mid caps for growth, and 20% to small caps for aggressive wealth creation. Yes, this is riskier. But a 20% drawdown at age 25 is an inconvenience. The same drawdown at 55 is a disaster. In your 30s, you likely have more responsibilities: EMIs, children's education planning, maybe aging parents. Shift to 60% large caps, 25% mid caps, and 15% small caps. You're still growing wealth aggressively, but with slightly more protection. In your 40s, capital preservation starts becoming important. You can see retirement on the horizon. Move to 65% large caps, 25% mid caps, and only 10% small caps. The focus shifts from maximum growth to reliable growth. For those in their 50s and beyond, consider 75% large caps, 20% mid caps, and just 5% small caps. Your primary goal is protecting what you've built while still beating inflation. Now, for 2024 specifically, there's an important consideration. After the massive rally in 2023, valuations across all categories are elevated. Small caps and mid caps are trading at historically high price-to-earnings ratios. This doesn't mean avoid them, but it does mean systematic investment through SIPs is wiser than lump sum deployment right now. Monthly investing automatically averages out these elevated valuations over time. Let's bring everything together with some clear, actionable takeaways you can implement starting today. First, there is no universally best category. Anyone telling you to put everything in small caps for maximum returns or everything in large caps for safety is oversimplifying a complex decision. Your allocation depends on your age, income stability, existing assets, financial goals, and honestly, your emotional relationship with money. Second, diversification across market caps is not optional, it's essential. The data clearly shows that different categories outperform during different market phases. Large caps lead during uncertain times. Small caps explode during recovery phases. Mid caps often provide the most consistent performance across cycles. Owning all three smooths your journey. Third, if you're a first-time investor watching this video, start with large cap heavy portfolios. Build your conviction. Experience one market crash. See how you actually react, not how you think you'll react. Then gradually increase mid-cap and small-cap exposure as your knowledge and emotional resilience grow. Fourth, use mutual funds initially rather than direct stocks, especially for mid-cap and small-cap exposure. Fund managers have research teams, they have access to management, they have experience identifying quality within thousands of options. Fifth, review and rebalance annually. If small caps rally hard and suddenly become 40% of your portfolio instead of 20, book some profits and restore your target allocation. This automatically implements buy low, sell high discipline. Remember Rahul and Priya from the beginning? The difference wasn't genius. It was a systematic approach to diversification across market caps. You now have the knowledge they didn't have when they started. Use it wisely. If this video helped clarify your investment strategy, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one.